Hey guys, Mandy here. I just watched the movie Age of Adaline, and this is my review of that movie. Age of Adaline stars Adaline and Harrison Ford. The movie starts with Adaline getting a fake ID from a weirdo kid. After Adaline gets her fake ID, a weird narrator comes on and tells us about her life. Adaline was born 100 years ago in San Francisco. She got married and she had a daughter and named her Fleming. Fleming? Anyway, Adaline's husband dies, but Adaline is driving one night and suddenly snow falls. Basically, Adaline gets in a car crash. The narrator comes on and says something about science, and then she gets hit by lightning. Then Adaline suddenly, through science, lives forever. I don't know. Never ages. Adaline goes on with her life and lives with her daughter Flem. And basically, people are starting to notice her. One night, the government finds her and literally says, "We want to run tests on you." Then Adaline runs away and says to her daughter Fleming, that she has to leave because the government's chasing after her. I don't know. She runs away or something. Flashback to the future. It's New Year's Eve. Adaline is working at the library. She calls up her friend and is like, "What are you doing for New Year's?" And says, "I'm playing piano at this hotel." Adaline meets up with her friend, and all of a sudden she makes eye contact with this guy, and she thinks he has a boyfriend or girlfriend or something. So she just leaves the party, and she's walking in the elevator, and the elevator's about to close. All of a sudden this guy gets his hand stuck in there, and they get in the elevator and they have this uncomfortable chat, and then she leaves and he's like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "I don't give out my name." She doesn't want to be a government experiment. Wonder if we ever see this guy again. So then next day at the library, Adaline's working or something, and Hawkeye shows up. And she's like, "How'd you know I work here?" And he's like, "Oh, actually I've seen you before." He's a stalker. Apparently Hawkeye is a billionaire. He wants to donate money to the library that she works at. He says, "I'll give this donation. Will you go on a date with me?" She's all like, "No." He's like, "Well then fine, I guess I'm not gonna donate anything to you." Wait, what? Well, this relationship's off to a good start. They go on a date in a cave or something. They have a good time, I guess. He's like, "Why don't you come over to my house and I'll cook for you?" So she goes over to his house and she's making fun of his house, and she makes fun of his music. Why do you like her? We don't know. I never figure it out. Then Adaline leaves. Then, plot twist, Adaline's dog died. Really sad. She's coming home from the vet. Guy shows up at her house with flowers. She's like, "How did you get my address?" He's like, "Oh, I got it from your work." So I think he's stalking her. He hands her flowers and she's like, "I don't want you to know me. I'm moving. Blah, blah, blah. My dog died." Adaline's on the phone with her daughter after that traumatic flower experience. Her daughter's 80, by the way. She's really old. Flamingo's like, "Mom, don't move again. Stop running. The government's not chasing anymore. You're crazy." So Adaline's like, "Okay, I'll stay." Adaline goes and tries to find Guy. She finds him and basically is like, "I'm sorry, I'm crazy and emotional." The guy was like, "Hey, even though it's our third date, you should meet my parents at their 50th wedding anniversary." She was like, "Totally." They walk in. She's meeting his parents because that's what you do on a third date. Harrison Ford sees Adaline. "Oh my gosh, you look just like Adaline." And Adaline's like, "My name's Jenny." By the way, she's been going by Jenny this whole time. So then Adaline was like, Adaline's dead. And he was like, oh no. So then, flashback, Harrison Ford and Adaline falling in love. Next scene, everyone leaves, I guess. Harrison Ford and Adaline are talking. She has a bug in her hair. He's like, you have a bug in your hair. Adaline was like, can you get it out? Oh, blah blah. Harrison Ford sees a scar on her arm. And it's like, Adaline had that same scar on her arm. And then Harrison Ford goes crazy. Literally is breaking a door down. And then he finds an old picture of him and Adaline from the past. In the picture shows a scar. She still has it. And Harrison Ford drives after her because she was going on a walk or something. Harrison Ford comes up to her and is like, Adaline, I know it's you. Why would you ever come to that conclusion? I wouldn't come to that conclusion, but apparently Harrison Ford would. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And he was like, why did you run? And she's like, I couldn't have been with you. I never grow old. You can't tell anyone. He was like, don't break my son's heart. I don't know. And then she runs away. I'm like, Adaline, don't run from your feelings. And she's like, I've got to get out of here. So she's packing stuff. And Harrison Ford was like, Adaline, stop. Don't leave. And Adaline was like, I have to go. And Harrison Ford was like, okay, bye. Adaline literally steals guy's car. To me is a felony, but to Adaline is not. And she's driving. Wait a second. She pulls over and she calls daughter, who's 80. Daughter, I think I'm in love with this guy and I don't care what happens. And I was like, you woke me up, but okay, cool, I'm old. So she's like, I'm gonna go back. She turns the car without looking, gets hit by a car. The car rolls 50 times. The car that hit her drives off. What? Meanwhile, guy comes out from his shower and he's like, Dad, Harrison Ford, where's Adaline? And Harrison Ford was like, son, she's gone. And son was like, Dad, what did you say to her? And he was like, I didn't say anything. And then he was like, I've got to go after her. And then he was like, why do you love her? And the son was like, because nothing makes sense about her. Meanwhile, Adaline's dying. Narrator comes back on and is like, her body temperature goes to 87 degrees. A comet hit the moon, and because of that, the wave tides came and snow started falling in San Francisco again, straight up. Her body goes into hypothermia, and then the paramedics come and do the little whatever that is, comes back to life, and suddenly, don't know yet, does she stop aging? Uh-oh, plot twist. Next scene, Adaline's in the hospital, and Guy is like, I need to see her. The nurse was like, okay. Adaline was like, sorry I stole and crashed your car. And he was like, it's okay, I'm a millionaire. Then Adaline goes, I have to tell you something, I never age. And I guess she tells him the whole story, which they don't show, but he just totally believes her. Her daughter comes, and she meets Guy. Hi, I'm Adaline's grandmother. And Adaline goes, he knows. Guy was like, and daughter was like, and I would be like, what? Scene cuts 1 year later. It's New Year's Eve again. Adaline has a new dog by now. They're going to a New Year's Eve party, and Adaline walks by a mirror. She looks in the mirror, and all of a sudden she sees, plop, it's a gray hair. So is she aging? Is she not? End of movie. Yeah, that was the end of the movie. Anyway, that was my review of Age of Adaline. Just tune in for more movie reviews. I'll watch them and review them so you don't ever have to. And I'm signing out now. Peace.